afternoon. My name is Melissa Bennett, and this is a summary of my conversation with Cindy Carlson. So a little bit about the interview, a little backstory about it. It was in Western Bank, Mounds View, so only 10 minutes away from campus. So let me tell you, that was quite lovely to drive over in such a short time. It was September 26th at 10 a.m. The building itself, as you can kind of see from this picture, is this really vintagey, retro white building that's kind of hidden behind like a lot of trees. So it's kind of hard to find, which I thought was interesting. And they didn't have a lot of large signage. So I wondered if there was like any practical applications for that, but it was interesting to see. The atmosphere inside was really interesting in that it was just very calm and very respectable and very efficient, which honestly is what I want my mate to sound or to feel like, so that works. I met Cindy Carlson through a professional skills brunch led by the wonderful Justin Nelson. So that was a really cool connection, and then I just reached out and she graciously said, absolutely, like let's have an interview. So, some key facts about Cindy Carlson. She is the Senior Vice President of the Western Bank. She's been doing the job for, oh my goodness, upwards of 30 years, so she's definitely fits the criteria. She's heavily involved with her Rotary Club of Mounds View. She's, I think, either a vice president or president of her Rotary Club. And this is where she comes to the idea that the best way to solve ethical dilemmas is to follow the four-way test, but a little more on that later. One quote that I thought was interesting is she said, trust is paramount to banking, which was really cool in terms of ethical dilemmas. So my first question, I wanted to ask her about the importance of ethics and what she thought it was. She said, it was foundational to character of who you are, and character is foundational, like trust, to banking. She said, do the right thing even when no one is watching, which I thought was interesting, and I could definitely tie that into Matthew 6:5-6. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received the reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So basically the principle of I'm just doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Oh, sorry, it's a little cut off. Another quote, this is a presentation of quotes by Cindy Carlson. Ethics encompass acts of omission. And this came up when I asked her about the hardest lesson she's learned in regards to ethics in like her professional capacity. And she told me a story of when she had just started banking. She was just barely getting started. A man came in with a business proposition. In her report, she did not differentiate his total assets versus retirement money. So she counted them all together, which is a big no-no. She didn't realize her mistake though, and she actually did not tell me if this was on purpose or by accident. I'm kind of guessing it was on purpose, but not quite sure. A year later, the business fell apart, and she was cited for integrity. It was actually something that she did. That small act of omission affected her for years and years and years. And actually, she had to go to her boss and confront him and say, I recognize that I messed up years ago, but I think I've moved on, and I think I've proved myself. And he agreed, and he paid for the promotion, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, the big takeaway is from Cindy Carlson's point of view that you have to report factually, not with your emotions, but just the facts, especially in business. So I asked her then about an example of an ethical dilemma. And it just happened that week where one of her friend's sons had wanted a loan. And she was very careful to make sure that on her report it was stated that she knew him and that he knew her, and she just wanted to be completely above reproach in this situation. So then I asked her about the 4-way test, and she gave me 4 questions. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Which I thought was a really interesting way to do it. That was from the Rotary Club, by the way. And she left me with one final quote. When I asked her, any words of wisdom would you give yourself starting in the business world? Half of the art of communicating is what you haven't said. Knowing when silence is best, knowing that actions have to follow your word, your moral code, your ethics your actions have to follow what you think. So yes, have a